favorite beverage, and then we can get started. All right, so I am the founder and creative behind Art to the Extreme, home of the original Rainbow Crayon. I am so excited that you are here joining me for my September Etsy U class today. The topic is on sprucing up your branding for the holidays. I specialize in customized and personalized crayon design for your gifting needs. And my specialties are in the areas of branding and PR and media relations and getting press for your Etsy shop. I didn't go to school for any of this. My degree is in art education, but my long history as a maker, I in PR, and it's a lot easier than people might think. I'm really passionate about this topic. So you're going to see some additional workshops pop up in the coming months on getting press for your shop and how to get that holiday exposure that you need for your business. But I really believe that if I can do it, you can do it. A little bit about me. I have 15 years experience on Etsy. I have been with the Etsy platform almost since the beginning, so an Etsy OG. I'm a former teacher. Started off as something for fun, kind of a little side hustle. Then it kind of developed into a supplemental income to my teaching career. And in 2014, when my first son was born, I was able to quit my day job and run my business full time. I just reached $1 million in revenue at the start of this year on Etsy. Most of that being made in the last 5 or 6 years or so. And a lot of that's been getting press, updating my photos, really keying in on those good things visually that make your shop trustable, that your excellent customer service, and some of these things about the branding. I've been featured in over 200 major publications, gift guides, TV appearances, everything from Good Morning America to the Martha Stewart, People magazine, you name it, I've probably been in it. Some of my highlights are below in this photo. And I love, love, love teaching others how to get press for your business as well. But branding and making sure that your shop banners and everything is all up to date is really key in getting these opportunities as well. I'm also an Etsy instructor. I have specialties in branding and getting press for your handmade business. And if you watch the Etsy Up Holiday Edition last week, I was on the panel of the Etsy Holiday Trends with Dana Isom Johnson, Etsy's trend expert. So that's a little bit about why I'm here talking to you today, too. And why you are here is to talk about branding and spicing up or sprucing up, spicing up too, your branding for the holidays. While business is about selling a product, branding brings that unique story of your business to life, making your special and more memorable to your buyers. Your brand is what kind of converts a casual buyer into a repeat customer, and how you change up your branding for the holidays just might be that difference between making that sale, getting featured by Etsy, your work getting featured in gift guides. And today I'm going to teach you how to do this, just making a few little changes for the holidays. This presentation is going to be split up into two main parts. A branding overview and kind of an audit of your branding currently. And that's okay if you're just getting started with branding, or if you have a shop that is really well polished and you just want to know some extra tips and tricks for changing it up for the holidays. And that's completely fine wherever on that scale that you are. At the end, I'm going to share some key resources, and I highly recommend signing up for the email that I'm going to send out afterwards with a ton of helpful tips, tricks, and links, and a little bit deeper dive for those that want some homework. So if you've signed up for this class, you will need to opt into my personal email through my Pick My Brain, and that link is at the very top, and that's how you can get today's replay. That's how you can get the additional information and things too. Also, if you haven't, drop your shop link into the chat so I can reference that later on and check out what you guys are creating as well. All right. So, why is branding important? I've had my shop for over 14 years. I was the first to create a handmade crayon and sell online. Now, when you search Etsy, crayon shops specifically seem to be a dime a dozen, but there's a reason that my work continues to be at the top of holiday gift guides, constantly featured on Etsy and in the minds of my fabulous customers. During the holidays, I go above and beyond branding wise to visually switch my shop over to holiday themes and that content, but also providing opportunities for customers to purchase specialty items offered only during these times too. But in a world where that next big idea could be easily copied or put on social media or created into a Pinterest or TikTok tutorial, buyers are still migrating to brands that share their story and their purpose and making sure you get that information out there. When it comes to scaling and artist recognition and buyer confidence, all these aspects of branding are imperative. And today's training are going to hit upon some of these key aspects of branding and how you can tweak just a few key things to have your shop ready for the holidays and get to your ideal customer. I encourage you to let this information soak in a bit. And if you're feeling overwhelmed at any point, focus in on one or two main goals for you to improve or to work on for that holiday. Always come back to the replay and work on the next thing. And I always tell people during this, done is better than perfect. Okay. So just pick a couple things to really focus in on too. All righty. So, branding brings that unique story of your business to life. It helps your shop stand out from the crowd and it connects your products with your target market. Your brand gives your business a personality. It communicates who you are and what you care about. Your brand sets the tone for your business, but it creates memorable impressions and helps customers know what to expect when they purchase from you. Simply put, your brand is a combination of the image you're trying to project for your business, plus the associations, the memories that your customers associate with that projected image. You should be using holiday trends, colors, themes, and motifs in your shop and where they make sense and if they make sense for you. And that's what we're going to be really diving into today. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. And let me also say, if you have presentation, you can pop it into the Q&A tab. I might not answer it exactly live, but I will go back to it at the very end of the chat as well. All right, so your customers want a sense of what you're about, why they should care or shop with you specifically, and they want to be able to visualize how your products fit in with their holiday gifting and celebrations. It is your job to clearly present your products and services in ways that will inspire customers to incorporate your work into their into their holiday traditions, decorate their homes, add a touch of holiday magic to their dinner tables. By the end of the presentation today, I want you to be able to spot strengths and weaknesses in your branding. I want you to master your messaging and identify opportunities to share your story and improve your chances to stand out in this sea of potential like products. So, with a branding audit, I want you to consider the following topics of the next few slides and give yourselves kind of a branding audit. Either you are new to branding in general, and if so, I highly suggest you taking my Branding 101 course that I'll share in that follow up email afterwards. And it really dives into many of the topics I'm going to share a little bit deeper instead of just a more generalized branding, because I'm really going to be trying to get into that holiday focus towards the end of the presentation. Or you already have these areas done really well, and I'm going to mention more about the holidays and your branding's cohesive. You're ready to move on to this kind of temporary holiday mode in your shop. So some of this might be a review for some of you, but still key points to remember. So keep that in mind. So in your branding, first, you want to make sure that you're defining your brand promise appropriately. People connect with this promise that a business makes to its customers. The promise represents a set of expectations that your customer associates with your business. This is going to be key around the holidays where your shop might see an influx of customers who are new to you and they may not have trust in your brand fully. They might be completely new to the Etsy platform. You want to make your messaging and purpose for them as clear as possible and as visually appealing for the best chance that they will add to the cart and come back for more. They want to know, why do you sell your products? Shoppers are drawn to the authenticity and personal aspect about what you do. Think about the story of your business or how you got started and how does that fit into your brand specifically. Your know. Sharing those key backstory details, including that initial creative spark, notable milestones, and how your business has evolved over time, can help shoppers connect with your brand on a personal level, especially during the holidays. Are there any special products you're creating for the holidays that have a meaningful backstory or a holiday source of inspiration? People buy from people, and your story matters. You want to be thinking about who your target market is and what problems are you actually solving for them during the holidays specifically. Understanding who your target market is and how your products will improve their life or their gifting experience will help you create a message and identify or an identity that resonates with their values, their interests, and their needs. It can be helpful to create a profile of your potential audience. You can literally write down personas of the individual people purchasing your products for the holidays. Are you looking, is it for the sister looking for that standout white elephant gift? Is it for a grandmother looking for a non-edible stocking stuffer treat? Get very specific. Who are you targeting as your customer? You need a income level, cultural traditions, your local climate, personal taste, all going to have an impact on purchase, and especially during the holidays when they're trying to choose your shop or your product over something else. What's going to really catch their eye and zone more on what they're looking for? What are the benefits of your product? What does your product reliably and uniquely bring to the table for the holidays? Think about what you sell. What makes your pine scented candle different from other candles? Why are your custom holiday matching PJ sets special? How does the vintage cookie Christmas apron that you vintage aprons? What are those differentiating qualities of your brand during the holiday, and how is this best through photos, your listing descriptions, your holiday tags, etc.? Think about what you offer from your customer's perspective. What is unique about you that you can serve their needs during the holidays? What type of feelings and experiences do I want my customers to associate with my shop? Can you providing those like warm, fuzzy feelings, those holiday memories that come up to their mind? What descriptive words can you use to position yourself and differentiate you from your competition? Let me know in the comments real quick. I want you to answer that question. What descriptive words can you use to differentiate and position yourself from your competition? How would you describe 3 or 4 words in the chat real quick of descriptive words that would differentiate you from another shop or another product that could be similar or possible competition with your shop? Let me know in the chat real quick, like 2 or 3 words. Custom painting. Oh, I see Elizabeth here from Indiana. I'm in Indiana right now too. I'm in Noblesville, Indiana. Let's see. Chess, calendar, ships quick, personalized gifts. Ooh, shipping quick is going to be important for the holiday. Personalized is not going away. Personalized is everything this holiday. Hard to differentiate vintage shops. Any suggestions? We can get there. I'm going to write that down. And for you, for vintage shops, it might be more of really digging into your story. What is your passion beyond that? Are you focusing in on a vintage holiday? How can you bring up some of those vintage holiday vibes and really like make that into your story, your brand around that? Wearable art, handcrafted concept creation, quality family time, original, spiritual, custom poetry, hand carved glass, slow made, made to last, sustainable. A lot of buyers this holiday are going to be looking for sustainable items or businesses that sustainability, something different, unique and personalized. Perfect. So you guys are really, I just want your brain to start kind of warming up there and thinking about it. Free gift wrapping, value for money, eco-friendly. Perfect. Personalization, ready to gift. Awesome. One of a kind, eco-friendly. Perfect. You guys got this. So keep those words in mind because we're going to come back to those in a little bit too. So once you've defined your brand and crafted your brand promise, here are some examples of how to effectively communicate it to your customers during different stages of the sales cycle. So before and during the sale, you want an attractive logo and shop home. I'm not going to super dig into a lot of details here, but kind of give you the basic overview. And this is a great place where if you sign up for the Pick My Brain email after this, that link that's pinned to the top, I'm going to send back out my branding one and two for those who are interested. But you want an attractive logo and shop home. Your visual design is as important as any part of your brand identity. You want to make sure that the fonts, the colors, your design assets, the photos that you're choosing in your shop during these holidays evoke your brand and kind of evoke that holiday. You want to design marketing materials with your brand in mind. So, your business cards, your promotional materials, your social media, they should all kind of share that same aesthetic that supports your brand's image. You shouldn't be seeing two different things when you go to if you have a .com, if you have an Etsy site, if you have your social media, they should all flow together very well visually. You want to use the same color schemes, fonts. Your designs don't need to be fancy at all, but you just want to make sure that you're consistent across your platforms. You want to write your item descriptions with a tone of voice that reflects your brand's personality. Make sure that you're telling the story behind your product and how it relates to your brand's values as well. Background and props to help convey your shop's identity to your target customers. That's going to be very important for the holidays as well. And later on, I'm going to be showing you visually what this looks like or what this could look like for your shop as well. After the sale, you want to design your packaging to be consistent with your brand's personality. A well packaged item will impress your buyers, turning fans into loyal repeat customers. Customers during the holiday are really going to be looking for the free shipping or the comes gift wrapped or gift wrapped is option. They want that ready to gift experience too to make it easy on them. Provide that for them so it's a no brainer when it comes to them shopping with your shop over someone else's. Branding really extends to every aspect of your business, especially the customer service activities like answering follow up emails, shipping, issuing refunds. As a business owner, you have a great opportunity to build your brand when you're providing that customer service. These are rare opportunities where you have full attention of your customer, and how can you use it to create memorable experiences that complement that image? Your marketing, your customer loyalty programs, newsletters, social media content, they should all have that consistent tone and aesthetic, especially during the holiday. And the nice thing is, once you work on that for your Etsy shop, it carries over pretty easily for your email lists, your newsletters, your social media platforms. You can use those same images and marketing that you've put together across all those platforms. So, also thinking about developing your, excuse me, I like that question, Susan. Just a moment. Developing your brand's design palette. So the decisions you make around your visual identity are going to shape the associations people have when interacting with your business, especially for the holidays. So yes, it would make sense to make a new temporary shop banner to feature your holiday items. I'm going to show some examples of that towards the end, and I'm going to show you how I apply that to my shop. My shop stream is set up right now for back to school, and it's all back to school branding. I'll show that visually in a little bit to you as well. So, similar to how your brand promise creates a foundation for bringing your brand to life, establishing a brand design palette provides a reference guide for all of the visual assets that your business needs, such as a logo, a business card, your packaging, signage, your product photos. These can be updated for the holidays as well and really should be updated, especially if you already have your branding on point. Dana's holiday trend report says expect shoppers to seek out head turning shades like magenta, emerald green, and other those warm jewel tone colors like yellow topaz or citrine. Those berries, navy blues add to the dazzling mix. These are the colors for this holiday 2022 season. How can this translate into your own shop? Does this mean these exact colors? No. Will you have a better chance of being featured, being picked up for a magazine or gift guide? Probably. The brand palette that you choose for the holidays should be an extension of your year round branding. Find new ways to incorporate these trending colors, such as the magentas or emerald greens, or these holiday motifs of like snowmen and reindeer that are trending this year. But you want true to your brand. Can you pick out one aspect of Dana's holiday trend guide to focus on and incorporate into your offerings, your listing photos, or the general color palette you're using with your shop to attract the eye? I like this photo that I provided in this example because it's kind of giving those emerald greens, those bright pinks. Bright pink is really in, I think, kind of more for the summer, but I like this as an example of this product, Burning for You London is the shop, and they offer these hand dipped candles, and they're using specifically the colors and the background images or the background color of their image, and that's a great way for you to showcase these holiday colors and kind of be on trend and on brand with what Etsy's showing with those 2022 holiday brand trends. and bring it into your own shop. So the colors, the fonts, imagery you choose to represent your brand is going to set this tone and communicate what your business is about. This is a slide specifically from my Branding 101 presentation, but I want you to think about the colors, the fonts, the photography in the terms of holiday styling throughout your Etsy shop that speaks those holiday vibes. But it needs to stay on brand and still stay true to you and your product. For Art to the Extreme, I focus personally on the photography to incorporate these holiday themes, the colors, and kind of give that overall vibe to my shop throughout my shop. It can be as simple as changing up the first photo on your listing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here, just change up a few things. And later, I will be focusing more on this and showing some visual examples as well. Photography shops do make assumptions about what they're purchasing and what your business is based on what they see in your photos. So when they open up your shop and they see your photos, they're going to make a decision in that like 1 to 2 seconds about what is your brand about, what is your business about, what do you create and sell, and they're going to make an assumption based on your photography. If I would say get your photography great for the holidays. If you focus on one thing for the holidays, I will always preach all day long photography. Invest in good photography, take good photography, do that work now, and it becomes so much easier to switch out your branding for each of the seasons. So, customizing the look of your shop. Once you've established the colors and the fonts and the photo styles that align with your brand identity, the next step is to incorporate each element that this design palette, these colors, into your shop's visual story. So you want to be thinking about the overall look to your shop, kind of starting with the banner. Your shop home is the virtual storefront of your Etsy business. It's often the first impression that your brand makes on its potential customers. Strong, cohesive visuals are going to help you tell that story of who you are and what is unique about your products. Beyond your amazing products, these assets are often what gets buyers really excited about making a purchase. While you should always aim for consistency, this doesn't require everything in your shop to match. Instead, create these visual elements that complement one another as like pictures of the bigger. You want to have that bigger holiday picture when you look at your shop. You don't have to change everything, but especially during the holidays, you want to make sure some of your listings are bringing that holiday magic, that holiday spirit, those holiday colors. On Etsy, your shop icon, your shop banner, your product photography, your about section can all be customized to fit your brand for the holidays. The biggest changes for sprucing up your shop are going to be in the banner, the photography, and that kind of SEO, those tags and things that you're going to use to be found. I'm looking at the chat real quick. I'm going to get to some. I see some questions are being popped in the Q&A too. I will cover those. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, if you want to pop in your questions to the Q&A, I will get to it in a little bit too. So let's take a look at this banner. Spanning the top of your homepage, your banner is the most prominent graphic that buyers are going to see when visiting your shop. So this image as well is from my Branding 101 presentation, but I want to use this as an example for you to kind of reimagine what this would look like for the holidays. Tell me in the comments. This is like a party supply company. So tell me in the comments, what would you change about this banner to adjust their branding for the holidays? And I will say one critique I will make personally with what I see right here is making sure that to the right where it says shop owner, it's actually a picture of the shop owner. If you don't have a picture of yourself as that shop owner image or icon, make sure that you change that. Some of those are basic things, having a logo, having a picture of you, because people buy from people. Let me know in the chat, what would you change about this photo specifically? Not too much would have to be changed. So changing the color palette. Yes, the colors. That's the first thing I would see. Let's replace that like orangish yellow and put it as one of those trending colors. Now, if the emerald green or magenta or those big berries or navy blue have anything to do with my products, if I have some products that would complement well, I would pick one of those colors. If not, pick a color that goes along with your brand, but still kind of gives off those holiday vibes. And remember, not everybody celebrates the same holiday. So automatically switching to red and green might not be the number one choice too. So that's why kind of those holiday trends and colors play in. So color, holiday confetti, perfect, Carly. Changing out that for holiday, especially if you're a party company, adding in that holiday confetti, color palette, color palette. Color is the easiest thing that you could change, especially if you're using kind of a blank color in the background. Add fall themes. Yes. So like right now for fall, make sure it's more fall themed, fall colors. You could even probably keep that color of background if it was for like a Thanksgiving or a fall type of thing too. Featuring holiday specific products. Perfect. Change the products, change the holiday props. Changing props is a great way too to kind of invite that holiday fun in. And it should say party supplies if that's what it is. Great. If that's not obvious from looking at it, that's perfect point, Jenny. If it's not obvious that party supplies is what the shop sells, then what can you add visually? Or sometimes it's even a word or two to describe it that can make sure that the buyer at a first glance, real quick, in that 2 to 3 seconds that it screams party supplies to the buyer. So they know, oh, this is going to be my spot to get all my party supplies for the holidays. Perfect. You guys are totally getting this. Jewel tones match the badge to the banner. Perfect. Add ribbons and bows. I think a nice holiday garland would look nice. I agree. Gingerbread man instead of, I like this. Yes, you guys are totally getting it. It could be as simple as changing your shop banner or some of those main shop images. You don't have a banner up there. It can just be something as simple as an image like this. So this is one of my banners from a few years ago. It's funny because Etsy likes to use it in kind of their images to pull from. And for this one specifically, the next one is my current one. But I think this one was specifically for end of summer but it wasn't quite back to school time yet. But I'm showing this because there are several sections to your banner. It doesn't have to be one image. This is one where you can drag and drop images, 4 images to be specific for this one into this. And this is a whole template within Etsy that you can change your banner up. So it's as easy as dragging and dropping 4 holiday themed type of photos that go well with your shop. They could be your best sellers that you want to see right away, or something where if your customer's looking at your shop for only 1 second, can they get a quick glimpse of, yes, I want to continue, or I'm not quite sure about what the shop is selling. So be thinking about that too. But this banner highlights the kind of those styled product shots that show the range of my collection for the summer and back to school. This is what it different. I want to make sure that people shopping with me, now that there's a million crayon companies out there, I was the first. I want to make sure people know that I was the first. I stand out. I'm an Etsy Design Award finalist. If you have things that are notable about you or your shop, that puts a lot of brand trust. If a customer sees this versus a newer Etsy shop that might not have their images up to date, that might only have a few sales, this is going to help me stand out from them because I have consistent branding in my photos. I was an Etsy Design Award finalist. That means, Etsy trusts me. The people that shop from Etsy, they voted for my items to be the best of the best among millions of shop owners. That's huge. If you have something that's notable, if you've been featured in something, this is a great place to showcase that as well. Looking at this too, how can we access the 4 photo banner template? I'm pretty sure all sellers have access to this. I do know I have the upgraded Etsy option. So sometimes their options are going to be a little bit different than just the basic. But even if it's not a drag and drop for you, you can easily create this like in a Canva or a Photoshop. I specifically use an app called Bazaart. I will have that linked in the end, and I'll email it out also in that email afterwards. I think Bazaart's way better than Canva, but that's just me. But you can do this on your own too. Even if your option is just for one big banner, you can do this on your own and just split it up into 3 or 4 images, something that makes sense for your van. I thought it was only upgraded. It might only be for the upgraded, Jessica, but you could also do this on your own through an editing. And Canva, I think, even has specific Etsy banner templates there that you could drag and drop through that platform. And if you attended the Etsy Holiday Up session last week, I know Adobe has some awesome free offerings for the next few weeks as well. And that would be an option through Adobe that you could also have that option for multiple images without too much editing on your end. Etsy Plus really helps improve your shop. Small things matter. Yes, I agree. I went to Etsy Plus right away, and I do like extra features that they give me. It's just a little bit easier. So make sure you have a logo, and I'm going to show this too, because make sure you have a logo. I don't know. Can you guys see my cursor? I don't think you can see my cursor. Make sure that you have a logo, a photo under your contact or your shop name, and you want to make sure, sorry, I lost my spot. You want to make sure, this is my secret sauce right here. So where it says the shop update, let me click announcement. So where it says announcement, that bottom left-hand corner, it says last updated on. My secret sauce, please update that often. If it says your shop was last updated 2 months ago, I don't know if I'm going to shop with you because that doesn't show me that you are present in your shop. I change this every day, if not every other day. Now, that might be overkill for some people. You might not have time to do that. I would change your shop announcement once a week. And when I say change your shop announcement, I don't mean reinvent the wheel. It's as easy as pressing enter and adding a space or putting a dot somewhere or something. You don't have to rewrite anything. Just press a space, press enter, and it automatically says that your shop is updated. If I'm a new buyer coming over to the shop and I see, oh, she was just active in her shop today. Okay, well, that means she's doing something. She's actually going to ship this. She's going to sell it. I trust. It's going to help that like, no trust factor. So that's kind of a little tip that I like to give people. Please change your shop announcement frequently, even if it's just adding a space and hitting save, it will update that. Google SEO and Etsy's kind of newer SEO is also picking up some keywords in the start of your shop announcement. So like mine's going to change a little bit for the holiday, but I already started plugging some of those keywords in there. Rainbow crayons are the best selling birthday gift, and stocking stuffer for kids. And then I go into art to the extreme, specializes in, et cetera, et cetera. But you want to start using some of those kind of holiday key terms. So months ahead of time, Google and Etsy search and SEO are starting to pick that up. If you wait until November 1st to do that, you're going to be behind. So start thinking about some of those keywords that you can kind of plug in there, and not only there, but into your listing descriptions as well. Perfect. Thank you so much for helping each other out in the comments too. That really, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. But images, make sure that images you are choosing are showing scale. They're showing the function of your products. Having it evoke an emotion or this holiday vibes, it allows the customer to imagine them using this gift or this item in their own lives. What does it look like in a stocking? What does it look like for Hanukkah? Is it a place setting at a winter table? So think about those things too as you're choosing these images to showcase on your banners and throughout your shop. All right. So also tell me in the comments, would you have for this brand to change up their branding for the holidays? This is that candle picture that I had a couple slides ago with the pink and green. There's like kind of emerald and pink colors. What would you change about this holiday photo, this banner or this photo? Photos down below. This should be an easy fix. If this was your shop, this would be an easy switch over for the holidays for you. Photo for the shop owner. Thank you for pointing that out. That was the first thing that I noticed too. And I kind of trained my eye to look for those things right away. The background, the colors to go ahead and switch it over to fall. I mean, right now it's black. It could be great for, I just took the screenshot yesterday. Halloween. I'm kind of getting Halloween vibes here. It could be as simple as switching the candles maybe to a white background with red, green, and blue and silver types of colors, or that like an emerald green background with other colors that complement that for the holidays and showcasing off their products. The black doesn't work for the color palette. And sometimes black could, because and sometimes people just aren't a black or a white person. Sometimes you need black as a background to help the product shine. It makes it easy to see these candles. If I were to pick a white, the middle of it might get lost in the shuffle. If I were to pick another color, it might clash. So for the shop specifically, black might have been the best option. But you have to do what's best for your brand. I don't use a ton of black in my photos that I use, and it would probably be off brand for me to switch something like that for the holidays. I'd love to see how the candles look at a fireplace or a holiday table setting. Exactly. So be thinking about things like that for the holidays. Make sure that you, I already had that. Okay. Got that. Okay. Your products are the heart of your business. So the way that you present them visually, make sure that they align with your overall shop aesthetic and cater to your target market. Be deliberate with how you assemble the product and use the photo background and the props, but be very deliberate with that. Each image appearing on your homepage reinforce your shop story and kind of the whole brand aesthetic as a whole. When arranging your listings, remember photo backgrounds can complement each other and they can make your shop look cohesive. All the backgrounds don't have to be exactly the same, but they should work well together. A cohesive shop is memorable, and a memorable shop tends to have repeat business. Think about how you can switch up your backgrounds for the holidays using trending colors, holiday props, those different holiday like themes and motifs that are trending, like snowmen and vintage Christmas and reindeer. How can you use those with your own products? Your featured item section is a great place to showcase your holiday bestsellers. This is the spot in my shop where I pick my best-selling items for that season. So right now my shop is set up. This is a screenshot from Art to the Extreme, my crayon shop, and I'm set up for back to school. So I have my signature name crayons that I am the go-to person for that. So I have to have one of those listings. I have 2 new products, that gigantic C. It's like as big as an adult hand, but I have some photos. Think about the kind of help show scale, a standard pencil versus a product. I have another new product at the very bottom with a white background. I have something that's eye-popping with rainbow colors, and I have another name set there to show how it's packaged. During the holidays, these are going to be switched, but I am being very purposeful with the props, the colors I'm using, and the background, and this will change out for you have that option to feature listings in your Etsy shop. So think about your featured listings as kind of a brick and mortar window display. Located just above your shop announcements, this is the perfect space to attract buyers with your most eye-catching inventory. By cherry picking 4 items or 5 items that can represent your shop's aesthetic best, you can quickly introduce buyers to your brand and entice them down the page to view your full collection. So it's kind of like ways to get in your shop. Somebody goes to your shop and right away they see your banner. Okay, the banner looks good. I like that. Okay, I'm going to go down a little bit. Oh, these are top 4 items. These are like the 4 items. I'm liking this. Okay, I will continue down and shop. If your banner is not looking good, are they going to go down to the next spot? Probably not. If your 4 featured items aren't there, if you haven't put that as a front and center to help those best sellers move and get seen, they might not scroll down to continue on to the rest of the items in your shop. So really think about that. Each section is kind of like a gatekeeper into your customer going further. So some best practices for featured listings, make sure you're keeping a full queue. Up to 4 or 5 listings can be featured. If you have the Etsy Plus, you can feature some more items. And these will display the shop home, but you can add as many as you like. The worst things you can do is not have enough in your backup queue. And then when something sells, there's like this really weird, awkward blank space. I don't know how often that I see a lot of new shops not. There might be 1 featured item and then the rest are blank. Please make sure that you have extra items in case your products sell out or have enough in your quantity that they're not going to sell out if that's possible for you. But keep it well stocked. Be consistent. So as with all of your imagery, your featured listing should be cohesive in the terms of styling, so buyers get a clear and immediate sense of your brand. Choose listings with the main photos that coordinate well in terms of the background, the lighting, the color palette. You want to mix and match too. So try highlighting some different product combinations to show buyers how well different items in your collection actually work together. And then keep it fresh. Rotate your featured sets periodically, using the space to spotlight new items, special offers, seasonal products. This is where switching things out for the winter season is going to come in handy. And say that you get a huge influx of a product and you just can't keep up with it. Take it off of your featured items, put it back down a little farther, and feature something else that you do have stock of. This kind of helps control the flow a little bit at times when people are actually visiting your shop, to kind of point them in the direction of what they might be interested best. Perfect. And yes, Etsy Plus does offer advanced customization of your featured area, and that includes some of those multiple images across your ton of other perks to it. I do highly suggest upgrading to Etsy Plus. I think it's not very much more per month. It's awesome. All right. Please, 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 please tell me that you have an about section in your shop. If you don't, that is the first thing I want you to do after this presentation, is to get a photo of you up and fill out your about section. I see a ton of new Etsy shops and even some Etsy OGs that don't have their about section filled out. People buy from people so much more. We saw this a lot during the pandemic, but even more so now in a sea of so many different sellers and people and so much noise on social media. People want to get behind a person, a brand, something that has meaning behind it. They want to know your story. You do have a reason for making this. You are doing this for some reason. You have a story, you have history, you're passionate about something. You need to be able to share that, and that needs to come through in your shop's about section. Step off my soapbox. Your about section is situated at the bottom of your homepage. This is where you can tell buyers what inspires you, how your products are made, and the story about how or why you started a business. Shoppers come to Etsy to buy from real people. Getting to see the person behind the products will give them greater confidence to make a purchase. And learning your personal story is going to inspire loyalty to your brand. Take prospective buyers behind the scenes of your passion and take them behind the scenes of that process to deepen their understanding of what makes your shop so special. It can also spark unexpected opportunities, including press coverage, collaborations, and new opportunities. If you want press, you also need to have an about section. Please, please, please make sure that's one of the first things you do today if you do not have your about section filled out. This is a great place to share a memorable story. Well, I'm losing a thing. You share a memorable story, use the photo carousel, add a video, show off what makes your shop and your story unique. What would you recommend for writing in your about section? So those things right there. How did you get started? How long have you been doing this? What are you most passionate about? What do you like best about the process? People are really interested about how you make. You can show a headshot. You could show pictures of your hands working, show behind the scenes of some of your spaces. Have any magazine features? You could show some logos of like the about section. I like hearing that, Kim. That's good. Hey, there's no shame in that. No sad faces or shocked faces needed. This is why we're doing this today. Keep it concise. People won't read a long bio. And yep, that's or make it so it's easily and spaced out too, because some people will. And the people that are truly scrolling down to read your about section, most likely are going to read it. I would say most people that are going there, they're going to read all of it. I'm looking at the comments a little bit more. Okay, perfect. But yes, please, please, please have an about section. That's one of the most important things, especially if you're want to level up and start getting press for your business. This is going to be key for you, and it really helps you stand out. Think about your branded packaging and promotional materials. Creating memorable experiences for the shoppers during the holiday. And you can do this through product labels and your marketing materials that you send. Am I saying put freebies in your packages? No, that doesn't always fit people. Not everybody likes having extra things in the package. But some of the things that you do now, even beforehand, can encourage shoppers to come back. So maybe having a coupon code or something, a holiday postcard showcasing, I know it's September, but you send out holiday postcards now and give them specific dates where they have to use that code. Maybe they have to use the code between November 1st and November 7th for a discount. That way you're trying to get some sales early and not so backed up when it comes to be like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So you can kind of control some of that flow and offer some incentives to customers ahead of time to kind of control when they shop and when they could get the best deal too. So think about that. But whether you're in the early stages of establishing your business or you're looking to expand or refresh, a strategic approach to packaging and promoting your products is going to be key in your branding. Your customers see your package before they even see the item they ordered. It's their very first impression of your product, so you want to make sure it's memorable. And if it's ready to gift for the holidays, even better. Holiday shoppers are going to be looking for gifts that are ready to gift or super easy to gift. People also like things that might be possibly Instagrammable. If you're making a place setting, I know I create personalized crayons. I was a create boxed personalized crayons, and people like to use those as place settings at a holiday table. They come ready to gift in a box. Show how what that box looks like. Show how it can be displayed on a table. Show what it looks like outside of the box. These things get people kind of interested in, oh, well, most of the work's already done. It's packaged up nicely. All I have to do is put it under the tree or put it in a stocking or stick it on the dinner table. Does this info show up on the Etsy app? Which info? Oh, I think the about section, I'm pretty I can see your about section. I think it's on the app. I think there's like certain tabs across. You don't scroll down, but there's tabs. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong in there, but I'm pretty sure on the Etsy app. And there's 2 Etsy apps. If you have not upgraded to the new Etsy seller app, it is fabulous. It gets a little bit gets a little bit taking used to. I'm still kind of going back and forth between the old and the new. I like some features on both, but the new one much better than the old one. Just my opinion. Option. Yes, please. And that's what I'm going to get to too. Offer gift wrapping, whether it's free gift wrapping as an incentive or it's like I offer $4 gift wrapping in my shop. I will say out of 10 customers, usually 4 or 5 still opt for gift wrap for that extra charge, even though my box is already stamped, personalized in a box with ribbon. They still want that extra layer of that magical, that gift wrap, that presentability. So please offer gift wrap. That's a great way to earn a little bit more money too, is offering gift wrap, or maybe it's an incentive for them, purchase X amount in my shop and you get free gift wrapping. Make it as easy as possible for the buyer. So, what can you include in your packaging that will keep your shop top of mind during the holidays? Is it a postcard with a discount, encouraging to shop early or bring buyers back in January? Like for me, sometimes I'll put a postcard for people to come in January where I'm my slowest. I'm really busy around the holidays, and I'm really busy in February for like Valentine's and class Valentine's, but January can get dead some. Encouraging shoppers to use this coupon, shop for Valentine's Day early, or maybe they're celebrating the holidays late, shop in January and get this discount. And that way, if they're like, oh, are you offering a discount for Cyber Monday? Because we don't do discounts in our shop. That's a great way for you to kind of say, no, we don't, but here's something in January when you might be a little slower and might need that income coming in too. So think about that as well. Does your business card or postcard tell your background? Does it encourage a 5-star review? Make it have some sort of purpose or else it's going to go in the trash. Even me, most of the postcards go in the trash for me, even when I order from Etsy sellers, because I automatically, in my mind, I just automatically think of branding. I immediately go to their Instagram, or I've already visited their Instagram or their TikTok or their Facebook. I know how to contact them. That's not true for everybody. And it depends what you're used to technology wise. It depends on your age. So some people still like having that physical postcard or that business card that they can share, they can pin up, they can remember. So make sure that whatever you're choosing, that it makes sense financially for you to include in your packaging. But don't stress out about it. Don't let it take up too much of your time. If it makes sense, if you want to offer a coupon code or something, great. If it's as simple as making sure that you're providing a code to go to the Instagram or a QR code or something, that's a great resource too. But make sure it makes sense financially for you too, because it can get quite pricey for postcards and things like that too. But don't waste your time with the extras that don't make sense with your brand. There I go. I used to teach. When I was teaching, I would sing all the time and I wouldn't even notice I'm doing it. All right. Customer service and social media. The voice, the tone, and values that you apply in your communications bring the personality of your small business to life. Maintaining consistency and care across the channels is key to ensuring a clear and positive impression of your brand, and that shines through. Scroll down the comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. What type of postcards do I use? I don't have my big postcards here. I just ran out. This is my business card, and it's old. It's like my backup. I will grab those that sign up for the email. I will attach postcard looks like, because it's much different now. The front of it is a picture of me, kind of a short, my story, like basically like, thank you so much for purchasing from me. Here's a little bit about my background. It's short, sweet, shows a picture of me because people buy from people. And on the back, it does encourage 5-star review. It encourages them to, here's a coupon for the future if you want to visit my website. That way I'm collecting emails. Yes, I'm here representing Etsy. I love Etsy to death. I am an Etsy instructor, Etsy all the way. You do need to be making sure that you have a way to also emails. That's something I hope Etsy has something planned in the future for that, but find a way that you can continue to connect with your customer after the sale has made, whether that's through social media, whether that's through different links in a link tree, whether it's collecting their email, encouraging them to opt in for an email to get something, whether it's maybe a free coloring sheet or a styling guide or a discount off their next purchase. and it can lead back to your Etsy shop. It could be a discount. You could specifically have a .com as a landing page for an about you section for possibly getting press in the media eventually, and for you to collect the newsletter. And it can go back to Etsy shop too. But that's a whole other topic that we can get to towards the end of it. Don't forget that during the holidays, the communication with your customers is going to factor into your brand identity. You want to be known for having awesome customer service, being super speedy, being reliable. Trust is going to be a huge factor into decision making for the holidays on the Etsy platform. Make your information clear and timely to establish this buyer trust. Customer service interactions are a prime opportunity to express your brand promise and kind of hone in on your communication style. Keep in mind that the broader umbrella of customer service encompasses a variety of touch points, including one-to-one conversations, your shop policies, your FAQs. With the unique needs and challenges of your target market in mind, consider how are you reflecting your brand promise across all of your points of contact. Also, make sure, just like I said, my secret sauce is updating that shop announcement. Make sure that you update your shop policies and your FAQs. You need to read through them, make sure they make sense for the shipping timeframes for the holidays, your return policies. And if everything's good, you still want to update it just so it has that updated so they can see that it's at least been updated in the last month or two during the holidays and that it wasn't from like last holiday season. So make sure that you're updating that, if anything, just for that date change. I'm going to look at the comments real quick. How do you collect emails when you have a digital shop? So through Etsy, nobody can really collect emails through Etsy. I do encourage people to have their own .coms as well. And that can get pricey, and that's a whole nother level to things. But the value in having customer emails, and let me also say this, you cannot contact your customer. You cannot grab the emails from Etsy and email them. That is not a part of what you agree to when you work with Etsy. You can't just take the emails from Etsy and email them. If you've done that, you need to stop doing that because that's not good. But for those that choose to opt in, you can do something as simple as even a MailChimp. You don't even have to have your own website. You can just have a MailChimp link. I think I use Klaviyo. I'm new to it, but Klaviyo is the email platform that I use. I used to have MailChimp. It's as easy as having a sign up form through Klaviyo or MailChimp. Even if you don't have your .com, you can still collect emails by having that link, and you can put that in your shop away message. You can put it in your thank you message. Oh, for a coupon, visit this link to sign up for our emails and opt in. And that's kind of a way to kind of get around it without having a .com. I have a landing page for my emails. I have 2 or 3 separate email lists. So those of you that went to the pinned post, on and this is a great example. If you go to that pinned post, the arttotheextreme.com/pages/pickmybrain, there's a form at the very top. It's an embedded form, but you could still go to the website of that form. It doesn't have to live on a .com. But you can go to that form, you can fill it out. When you fill out that form for the Pick My Brain to get this Etsy information after this presentation, you're not signing up for my arttotheextreme.com or my Etsy product stuff. You're signing up to get things about Etsy U and different marketing ideas for you and tips and tricks and stuff. So you can have separate email lists for separate customers too. If you have a digital shop, maybe you're enticing them with sign up for this newsletter and you get a free coloring page or a free digital printout of this. A lot of people do freebies that automatically get emailed once that email is collected from the customer. So I hope that makes sense. I love picking people's brains and talking to them about how they can email in their marketing, even if they only have an Etsy shop. But you should always be collecting customer emails when you can. And like I said, I will reiterate, you cannot copy paste emails from Etsy and put them in your own document and email people. That's a huge no-no. There could be so many lawsuits and things. Not a lawyer. Do not do that though. But there are ways to appropriately do this and still relate it back with your Etsy shop. And that's even great because this is your target market. Those customers that want to receive these emails from you, they want these emails. They want these extra things that you're providing them, or else they wouldn't have signed up for whatever you're giving them. Is it a coupon code? Is it a free printout? Is it a questionnaire? Yes, which email do we sign up to get your information? That link at the top, there is an embedded form that's at the top of that pick my brain page. There's some different links. There's ways to sign up and work with me, but there's that link at the top. I think it even asks a couple questions like, what questions do you have for me? Would you like to get more information about this or that? Fill out that link and that signs you up for my Etsy U emails. If you just go to the pop-up that shows up when you visit my webpage, that's going to get you to the product emails and you won't see any of this. So make sure that you're filling out specifically the embedded form on that Pick My Brain page. I got off on a whole topic, but I think this is very useful, especially collecting emails before Black Friday, and things like that. Because I always say, if social media were gone today, so if Instagram were to shut down, if Facebook were to shut down, TikTok was no longer there, if Etsy were to shut down your shop, how are you going to contact your customers and get a hold of them? You can't unless you're collecting emails. Is there a training for collecting email outside of Etsy U? That's a great topic to talk about. And I get into that a little bit with my PR and marketing and getting press for your Etsy shop a little bit, but that's a great topic for a future program. Legally collecting email. Yeah. And I mean, if you imagine this from Etsy's perspective, I don't see Etsy providing us to email customers. And it makes sense because think about all the purchases that you've ever made. And now if you've had every single Etsy person that you've ever purchased from has open access to your email, just constantly emailing you, it would turn people off to shopping on Etsy. So think about it, the flip side of that. Cause like, oh, it's not fair that we can't use these emails. It's not what you opted in for. I would, this is great. So my gears are really turning. I'm like, I have some, we need to create some sort of training around this. I have some ideas. So yes, fill out the Pick My Brain form and let's connect because I think that would be a really useful topic for people. All right. Where do I put this info email lists or announcements? Where do I put this info about email lists or announcements? Oh, you can put it in your shop announcement. So if you have a link, if you have a MailChimp, if you have an email list you want people to opt in for, you can put it in your shop announcement. You can put it, thank you. I also have it in my away message when people message me. I'm pretty sure. And my away message. And if you're also, I'm getting all over the place, but this is when the real good stuff comes out, is when the discussions happen in the comments and when I can kind of get off topic a little bit and help with these extra tips. I would make sure that if you're not using auto response messages, that's not only going to help your star seller status because it's automatically responding, but it's providing that customer that messages you. If you put an auto response on, you can put whatever you want in there. So try messaging me through my Etsy shop. It's going to say, I think it's on right now. It's going to say, hey, we'll get back to you usually within 24 hours. For now, watch my Etsy feature here. And it goes to the YouTube video where Etsy came to my studio to see my background. That would be great for a customer to see. Read my quit my day job article and learn about how I was a teacher that quit my job to run a crane company. So I have like a few different links. Want a discount? Here's a link to join my email. So like these are kind of like, in the meantime, while you're waiting for me, here are some things that you can do to further learn about my brand. That's branding, making sure that you're pointing them in the direction of what you want them to know about you to return to your shop to make that purchase. So went off on a tangent there, but it's extremely important. And that's a great place to kind of showcase some of those extra things. All right. If they had an opt-in feature, customers could choose who they want to hear from. Yeah. See, this conversation, I'm more than happy to take this feedback back to Etsy. I think I know the answer, but there's reasoning behind it. I can't go into it right now. I want to stay on track, but yes. And if you want to message me separately, I would love to discuss this more too. Same training emails. Is that the same training on a schedule when you're going to send out emails would be great too. Like if you want to send the email during Black Friday. Okay. I also have friends on Facebook placing orders, or should I always be redirecting to Etsy shop? Okay. So this is another question. And then I promise I'm going to go back to the slides because the holiday stuff, the real nitty gritty holiday stuff's coming up. So Lorena has friends on Facebook placing orders. Should I always be redirecting to your Etsy shop? Now I am like an open book when you talk to me. I have an Etsy shop. I have a .com. I've always had a .com as a landing page. Last year, I did a Shopify. It is very expensive to have a separate site. With my Shopify, I am Etsy. I am in the media. I am 200, 300. I am in the media holiday gift guides 50, 60 times a season. I am an Etsy Design Award finalist. I have all this branding, all this history, all these customers. I maybe get one or two on my .com. Etsy does so much to pull customers over. And part of the .com is me and my SEO and things, but I would rather do what's working. And Etsy, who's taking the time and the marketing to do that. Yes, I need a landing page. I always say everybody should have a .com to collect emails. And if you ever want to be featured in anything, a holiday gift guide, a feature about you, shows like Good Morning America, any authors, editors, they need to be able to learn about you, get a first, last name, learn about your history and stuff, all kind of in one snapshot. A .com is great for that. It's great to have a supplemental .com, but Etsy.com, they have a wonderful affiliate program. And I'm going to go off on another tangent here, but it's very important for the holidays. The affiliate program is imperative because if on my .com, if I were to pay for an affiliate program, and if you're not sure what affiliate means, if you ever want to be featured on BuzzFeed, I was just on Business Insider and an article they wrote on me, Business Insider yesterday that was just published. Best products, Oprah's favorite things, all of these things that I've been a part of, they want an affiliate link. That means when somebody clicks on that link that they decided to publish an article about, when somebody clicks on it and goes and buys something from your shop, that writer, that editor gets a kickback of a little bit of money, kind of like advertising, but they get a kickback. On my .com, I would have to sign up for a very expensive monthly affiliate link for an editor or Today's Show, Good Morning America, to any of them to even have interest in using my arttotheextreme.com. That is why I'm extremely grateful that Etsy has put all this time and effort into AWIN, AWIN. It's their affiliate program. So if you go into your stats and you see how people have found you, if you ever see like weird links, it's always the same type of link. And it's going past my brain right now of what it says, but that is an affiliate link. I mean, somewhere somebody's linked something, whether it's in a blog, a TikTok video, an article, somebody's linked your product and it got clicked on to view. And editors, people, influencers, even when I share other people's products, like I'm wearing this fabulous bow today by XOL. And if I were to share this link with people, I could get a kickback for it, money, and it's encouraging press to use Etsy shops, and it's not costing you anything other than what you're already doing on Etsy. I would redirect your Etsy shop, and I just heard with the Etsy U, and I can get some more information about this too. I just heard during the Etsy Up holiday event last week, I saw a little thing that said sign up as a brand and you can get credit back to your shop. And I don't quote me on this, affiliate program, like the A1 program that bloggers, influencers, editors are using with Etsy. I'm not allowed to put my own stuff on there because that's kind of like double dipping. If I were to share on Facebook, here's a link to my shop and buy from me, and people click on it and buy, I can't get any kickback from Etsy with their current program. But Etsy is developing a program for sellers, I believe, to get a little bit of credit or kickback or monetary value for encouraging you to share your Etsy. So that's going back to the question of, should I always redirect to my Etsy shop? You want to do what makes sense for you. For me, I have a .com, but I keep going back to my Etsy shop because that is what is moving the needle for me. That's what's getting things in magazines. I got off on a total tangent here, and I could talk all day about that separately. Um, But yes, last week's training, there is a replay for that. Okay, so I am going to focus back over here so we can get through this. And then anybody that wants to stay around and chat more in depth about this stuff, I will continue doing that. I'm easily distracted and I love, love, love talking to people in the chat, but I want to make sure you guys get all of your information that you were here from. And this will be available on the replay too. And if you want the replay, you have to sign up to get that emailed out to you because it will be private. All right, I'm going to skip over a couple things here. I'm going to do some of the basics because I want to speed this up just a little bit. But you want to make sure that you're maximizing your interactions with your customers, and direct messages are the most immediate way and personal touch points for your brand. And just ago, those direct messages and those away messages that automatically get sent are great ways to provide information to your customers if you're not readily available to respond to them right away. That's going to be key for the holidays because that trust factor. People want to know right away what the answer to their question is. Do you have an FAQ section in a shop that could be answered? Can you put a link in your away message or your message back to them that points them in that direction so they can hopefully find that able to contact them directly? You want to make sure that you're having these positive one-on-one interactions. That's what's going to turn an everyday shopper into a proud brand cheerleader for you, basically. Creating prepared responses for Etsy messages and emails helps maintain that consistent language across exchanges. You can actually have several saved replies in your message area that you can just click on and it immediately puts that same reply. That way, you're not repeating yourself over and over and over. If people are asking, hey, where are my packages? And you have the same type of thing you type out of, oh, USPS should be delivering it within this to this day. They're a little bit delayed. If you have the same thing that you continue telling people over and over, consider putting that into an away message too to make life a little bit easier for you during the holidays too. Make sure that you are updating your policies. Think about how your brand values are reflected on the shopper experience. Make sure that you have those shop policies updated for the holidays. And these FAQs will help things like, how do I place a custom order? How do I care for this item? What do I do for sizing? If you can provide this information ahead of time to your customer, it's going to save you a lot less time because you're going to be getting less direct messages from them asking these types of questions. But if you're preemptively addressing shoppers' questions and concerns, that's going to make your life easier for the holidays. I always say people buy from people. No matter what you're posting, where you're posting, the content you share on social media is going to be a continuation of your shop's branding, including its aesthetic and its tone. The more you keep your posts on brand and kind of relating to those holiday images, the closer to November, December that we get, the more people are going to be able to instantly recognize your brand from your post's imagery, from your voice. And ideally, your fans will be able to spot a post in their feed without having to check your account for their name. For me, I'm always wearing a headband. I always have a colorful skirt on when you see like full length body images of me and my branding, but I always have this. People always know, oh, that's an Etsy instructor. That's Art to the Extreme. She creates handmade crayons. She was an Etsy Design Award finalist. What can you also do visually in your branding for you? And that's a little bit extra layer. If you have all these things in place and you're ready to start branding yourself, that's something that you can think about too, especially when you do things like your shop profile picture, your about you section. You'll always see me with this headband. It's a great story too. When you get your customers talking about you and with you, you not only make your brand more memorable, but you might learn something. It's a useful tool to take in this feedback and kind of build out your understanding of your target customer, while also still answering your customers' questions and sharing the stories around your brand. All right. This is just a really quick another presentation too, so it shows a little bit around the Easter time of what my typical Instagram page looks like. If you don't follow me on Instagram, about what I do behind the scenes and processes and creations, and even just some inspiration of how to change up what you show. I do a mixture of press features that I have, pictures of me and my story, pictures of product, a little bit of home family life, but not tons. I do mostly that in my stories. But this is a great way. My work is so visual that I do spend most of my time on Instagram. I'm slowly getting into TikTok, but we only have so much bandwidth. And yeah, that it makes my brain hurt to try to learn so many different platforms and keep up with the Joneses. But I do love Instagram. I brand myself on social media through a mix of products, quotes, press and media features, my brand story, pictures of me, studio visits, videos, images, gift guides with like-minded brands for that kind of cross promotion. That's another great way to get into other people's areas too, is like cross promotion. And I'm not talking about a giveaway necessarily. I specifically put out gift guides every couple months or so. So I am giving content for the other brands to share, and in return, when they share it on their Instagram and their stories, their audience is opening up to my audience because they're clicking through to my gift guide, and kind of those audiences cross a little bit. So it's kind of another way to get yourself out there and spread your net I use bright colors, similar fonts. During the holidays, I'm going to keep it cohesive with these holiday colors and things that are reflective in my shop. Video is king right now. If you are not used to being on video, now is the time to start getting on video. And you need to also have video for your Etsy listings. I'm not saying go out and shoot a 15-second video for every single thing you have. If you sell jewelry, it can be as simple as using a emerald green background for the holiday, holding up that necklace, and it's just barely moving and dangling for 15 seconds. Having video on there, even if to be high quality video if possible, but just start. Done is better than perfect. So start by just holding something up and just rotating it a little bit, because that's already going to kind of check mark off that box for, oh, is Etsy going to feature you? Or are they going to move your item higher up in the list? If you don't have all of your 10 photos filled out, if you don't have that video, if you don't have your about section and things, you're less likely to be featured by Etsy. So try to get extra videos up there, and it can be as simple as just holding an image and just rotating it a little bit, just to kind of check off that, yes, my listing has a video in it box, and you can use that on TikTok or Instagram and things. I also always say TikTok, as much as I want to roll my eyes sometimes about TikTok, it's a great place to practice to talk to people. Once you get 1,000 followers, you can go live. And that has been the best way for me to practice telling my story and brand. People really only watch TikToks, at least mine, because I'm new to it, for like 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm getting a new audience constantly. And so if I just said the same thing, I can repeat myself. Every 3 minutes, I start off, hey, I'm Nicole Lewis. I'm founder of Art to the Extreme, home of the original Rainbow Crayon. If you are not familiar with my work, here's what I'm doing right now in the studio. If I mess up, if I stumble over my words, that person that's watching me is probably going to swipe off in like 5 seconds anyway. Maybe not if you're doing a good job, but TikTok is a great place to practice going live and just practice talking, practice interacting with people. It's a great way to get used to being in video, but you need to be on video in front of people once you have these other things in your shop taken care of. All right, let me scroll down the chat. Done is better than perfect. This is so true, Kim. Done is better than perfect. Do what moves the needle for you, because not all of this, I'm not saying apply all of this all at once. Pick 1 or 2 things that you're good at, or that you have interest in, or that are going to be easiest for you to accomplish in the next day, in the next week, in the next month or so, to help better prepare you for the holidays. Even if this holiday season, you take just a couple tips I'm giving you today, that might move the needle for you just a little bit to help motivate you for the next holiday. You don't have to use all of these things today. Ooh, Pinterest is a good thing. We can talk about that a little bit later too. I have some ideas for Pinterest. And that's one of the things, links I also email out in the Pick My Brain email too, if you've signed up for that too. Oh, Etsy no longer, I did not know that. I need to check that out. I did not know that, Deborah. Etsy no longer allows you to connect to Pinterest. Interesting. Okay. To sign up for the link to rewatch this, I will, it is any Etsy that you watch, it is up to the person recording this to repost it. So if you would like to rewatch this, I highly suggest that link I have pinned in the comments. You need to for my email, not the pop-up that comes up because that's for my products, but the email that's actually on. There's a few questions with it. That's how you'll be able to rewatch this presentation, because it's going to live privately on my YouTube page. I do have a YouTube account. All right, so what does sprucing up your branding for holidays in your shop actually look like? Here are some tips, some trends, some images that stood out to me from the Holiday Trends Report, and some examples of how I switch up my listings for the holidays with my own shop photos. So you're going to see a lot of my photos. I use the same photographer. She's fabulous. Her name's Kiana K Photography. She's out of Arizona. I'm here in my studio in Noblesville, Indiana. She has been fabulous, and it also kind of helps for that brand cohesiveness when I'm switching from back to school photos to October photos to Christmas photos. It's the same photographer. It doesn't have to be, but it helps me personally for my brand. It makes sense for me. If you have these areas I'm going to mention down pretty well and your branding is cohesive and you're ready to make a move onto this temporary holiday mode in your shop, then these are the good tips to start wrapping up that holiday and getting your shop ready for the holidays visually. If you need to work on your branding a bit, I do suggest making sure, go back, rewatch this, get your banner up, get your About You section up, get your photos up to date with what makes sense for your shop. Get that key branding in, and I will link that branding 101 presentation to that email I send out after this as well. So some of this is going to be a review, but are still key points to remember. So here are some examples using those head-turning shades of magenta, emerald green into the mix for the holiday. This is what Etsy's trend specialist Dana Eisen Johnson says are kind of going to be the trending colors of the season. And we also see a lot of this reflected in gift guides, BuzzFeed, Oprah's favorite things. Etsy's not just pulling us out of thin air. There's a reason these are the trends for the season. It's her job, Dana Eisen Johnson, it's her job to know what these are and present them to shop owners ahead of time. So we are best prepared, because you want to be doing this stuff a couple months before Cyber Monday, like now. That way it has time for like Google and SEO and all those things to catch up and start kind of having that history on, and it's easier to find you in the search when holidays come up. You want to be doing all of these things. All right, so you can incorporate trending holiday colors into your listing photo backgrounds, into your shop banner, into your icon if it makes sense, or work it into your actual photos. If you have strong photography that shows off these colors, you have better odds at being selected even for Etsy marketing or for a variety of publications. Of course, you still want to make sure that you're mixing in white background photos, photos with a scale reference such as a hand or a standard object like a Sharpie or a pencil if it makes sense with your photo. The use of the object within these 10 listing photos. Even if you're repeating some of your photos, please try to have all 10 photos in for that listing actually on there and have a video for that. Don't forget that video. You don't need to overthink the video. It can be as simple as holding up a necklace of yours against one of these colors and the slight movement or flicker of light. You don't need to overthink it. Done is better than perfect. So here are a few themes that the 2022 during our panel last week during Etsy Up. If you didn't get to watch it, there is a link to rewatch. It's not going to stay up forever. So if you have not watched the Etsy Up holiday edition, please go back and watch that. I was with a panel with Dana Eisen Johnson about the trends for 2022. Specifically, I was talking about a lot of personalization and how I use personalization in my shop to attract my ideal buyer. And go back and rewatch that. But some of these things that we mentioned in this panel during Etsy, what I'm sharing with you right now. So festive motifs, think about like party paper supply sellers, wrapping paper sellers, digital sellers. Think about these things that are going to be showing up everywhere for the holiday. So retro style Santas, foxes and snowmen and reindeer, houses and snowflakes, snow-capped mountains, poinsettia plants, winter berries, things that kind of have that fresh, crisp holiday feel. Those are what's going to be in. These are examples of some table decor. Like for me specifically, here's a photo that I had over the summer to encourage summer art parties as a place setting. So those are my crayons as a place setting for this art party. I would change this up by showing it on a holiday table for a listing photo. I would have some like a holiday cup with colors. Maybe the tablecloth is that emerald green color. Think about what's in the center of your table. Too distracting from your actual product, but be thinking about you can easily replace these items and change it for the time of year. Think about the items in your own shop and how you would display them for your listing photos. How is your ideal customer going to use your product or artwork in real life? Make it as easy as possible for them to visualize around their holiday table, around their tree, around their stocking, around their Hanukkah celebrations. And remember that also holiday doesn't mean Christmas. It means winter themes. It means other holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. There are so many things that are celebrated during the months of November, December, January that you can think of and adjust. And you can always A/B test them in your shop. And I think I have a slide about that. When I say A/B test, you can list two of the same item and with two different first photos or maybe two different listing title orders. See what works best. You can really dive deep into the stats and see what people are searching and what items are coming up in your shop when they're searching for that. List two of the same exact item. Change up a photo for each of them and see what gets more clicks. And then maybe that's the listing that you go with the rest of the season. So think about that too. Excuse me. All right, so here's some more examples of holiday props and backgrounds that might make sense for your brand. Scale with a hand holding, showing scale with a hand holding the item, a pop of color on a neutral background, or maybe you have a neutral colored product on a bright colored background, like one of those emerald green or magenta or berry type of colors for the. So think about how you can switch up your photos to reflect themes. All right, so gifts by recipients. And this is great for anyone looking to get press. Think about the recipients too. It's you can think about popular price points, so gifts under 30, gifts under 50. You'll often see Etsy feature gift guides as well in these categories of under 100, over 100, gifts for her, gifts for kids. Who is your audience that you're trying to sell to? Who's going to be using these actual items? And that really needs to play a role into your listing photos as well. So think about the price and the recipient, the tags in your listing. This is also helpful for getting picked up for holiday gift guides. So here are some examples of how I personally stay on brand to my normal listings in my shop for Art to the Extreme. If you're just joining, I create original rainbow crayons. They're customized, personalized crayons. I was the first person ever to create a handmade crayon online and sell it on Etsy. These are some items that I actually will switch out for. Typically in the past, I have switched out my stuff on October 31st. After my kids go trick-or-treating, I come home, switch my entire shop for November 1st. Now with everything being, you are seeing holiday gift guides being published now online. I'm seeing tons of BuzzFeed items, best product for Winfrey. All of those already have online gift guides coming out. They've already been in the works. Print already done. They're already working on like March, April issues for print magazines. The earlier you can switch up your shop, it might seem crazy, the better. I honestly plan on, I don't do in fall as far as trick-or-treat Halloween fall things. So I'm probably going to switch up my listing photos here in the next 2 weeks, if not like this week, because I want to give enough time for Google search engines, for Etsy, for everybody looking for these holiday things to feature in the media. I want to give them enough time to find me, make it easy for them to find me, and have all the photos that they need. So here are a variety of different photos. Sometimes I use white backgrounds. Sometimes I use a pop of color backgrounds. You can see the photo props that my photographer uses. They're not too distracting or off brand for me. They're just enough to kind of add that extra little special holiday touch to my products. Some of these might be my first photo. It might be my second photo. Play around with it. See what works for you, what goes along best in your shop. And then here's a few more photos. Personalization is not going away. Anything you can do this holiday to personalize items in your shop, do it. Whether it is stamping the front of a box, whether it is offering embroidery on something, whether it's coming up with a separate printable that can be adjusted or personalized. Try to think about some way to personalize your items. I don't see personalization going away over the next few years whatsoever. People want gifts that are meaningful, that are going to last a long time, that's going to have that wow factor when you open up the box. My original rainbow crayons do just that. You want the buyer to be able to visualize what this is going to be used for, how they can use it, and what that reaction might be. And like a kid seeing their name in crayon, how cool is that? Like warm, fuzzy feelings. Personalization is not going anywhere. Try to incorporate it whenever you can. If you have trouble thinking about how to incorporate things such as personalization or switching up your photos and things like that, that you can use that Pick My Brain link that I give you. I do offer one-on-one sessions with people. After these presentations, I get a lot of Etsy messages. I get a lot of DMs that wind up in my spam. I run my own business full time too, on top of helping Etsy do different trainings and Etsy U and things. And I'm a mom of 2 boys. I'm a wife. My plate is very, very full too. I am more than happy to talk to people all day about this stuff. I love it so much, but I do value time. If you want a one-on-one session with me, you can talk about, I'm an open book. And if you want something specific, if you want help with a specific topic, you can sign up for an actual Pick My Brain session with me as well. And we can talk more about that towards the end. But I love, love, love helping people. If you are wanting to know more ways to incorporate personalization, and you can use the chat right now, bounce some ideas off of each other of how you can possibly use personalization in your shop, because it's not going away. It's what people are searching for the holidays. It's what that extra layer of holiday magic to your products. So this has been like a whole brain dump of stuff for the holidays, right? Some actionable steps for you to start. Give yourself that branding audit that we talked about in the very beginning. Do that branding audit in your own shop before applying any of the holiday upgrades. The nice thing is you have time. It's the middle of September, almost the middle of September. You have time. Get your branding in your shop set up. If you want me to take a look at your shop, sign up for a Pick My Brain session. I know several of you that are in here right now that have already had sessions with me. And I basically beforehand, I look at your shop and I just write everything that immediately comes to mind of what needs to be switched, what my first thoughts and impressions are, and kind of fine tune and tweak what you need on your branding overall. We can also get super specific with what you actually want help with if you have a specific question. But actionable steps to start. Think about your shop banner, your logo. Do you have a logo? Do you have a picture of you in that contact or shop owner section? Did you fill out your about section? Those are the easiest things for you to leave this presentation with today and start making sure that you are doing this to your shop just on a general basis before you even add that holiday layer on top of it. Get those things set up now for success without the holiday layer. And that way it's easy to come back to it after you've done all that work after the holidays and kind of switch it back to a general, okay, we're past the holidays. The next holiday's not here. Here's what my shop looks like when it's not a holiday type of thing. Get all that set in stone first, okay? Then move on to listing photos. Not even holiday layer yet. Move on to your listing photos. Are you using 10 photos in your listings? Are you using video? Are you including images of a white background, photo props that aren't too distracting? Are you using things for scale, like showing it in a hand or showing it on a person or showing it on a standardized item like a Sharpie or a pencil or a coffee mug? The item in use. So think about those actionable steps with your branding. If your branding's not already kind of fine-tuned, start there. And then you can start kind of layering on that holiday. So what does that look like in your shop? Holiday is going to look a little bit different for everybody. So I changed my shop to holiday around October 1st through 15th. I think I'm going to do it a little bit sooner this year. And the bullet points on this slide are what I personally do to change up my shop. So I'm changing up my titles and listings. I'm changing my tags. I'm adjusting the first few sentences on the key listings for SEO. So who is your actual audience during the holidays? Do that. I would at least do it 35 to 45 days in advance, if not more. Change first photo on some of the listings. So my rainbow rocks, I might change my rainbow rock bag that's on a white background to this image that you see right here with pink and some holiday trees. And update your shop policies. I'm considering changing up my shop this week since I don't have a significant Halloween drop or back to school is over. So I can kind of start changing out those photos a little bit. But don't be afraid to do that A/B test, doing two of the same listing, but start photos that are completely different from each other. See which one people click on more. That's when you say A/B test, you're kind of sending the same information, but you're tweaking one thing about it. So maybe just the first photo, or maybe it's the organization of the item title. And adjust your shop policies. It does show a date when you last adjusted it. So try to do that every so often too. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so this is what my shop looks like right now. We've already looked at this. So I also say the announcements, make sure you're changing your announcements. But one of my other kind of secret sauce things, and I go into it in the next slide, right-hand corner. I have currently moved my listings. I've rearranged my items in my shop to show the items that people have in their carts right now because FOMO is real. It's 20 people have this in their cart, 20 people have this in their cart, 7 people have this in their cart. When people see that other customers your items and that your shop or your items are highly popular, it kind of gives them that fear of missing out, that FOMO, and it makes them possibly want to add it to cart too. So these are my extra tips for you. Change your shop announcement every few days, if not every couple of weeks at least, if you don't have time for every few days. That shows that you are present in your shop, you're updating things. It kind of helps that layer of buyer trust. Move your best sellers to the front and center. So going back to this one right here, I showed you the featured items. Make your best items for the holidays front and center at the top, what you want to sell the most of, what you know is going to put those in your featured item listings. and then move listings that are in shoppers' carts to the first page. So that's what I showed you over here with the little red line underneath that says like 4 people have this in their cart, 20 people have this in their cart. If you don't have that, that's completely fine. But if you do, it gives people a sense of that FOMO, that fear of missing out, and kind of lights a fire a little bit to hurry up and make their decision, especially if it's an item that only has 1 or 2 of something left, because Etsy does make those announcements in the shopper's cart. It will say 2 people have this in their shop, but there's only 1 available. Well, I want this right now, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase it and take it away from those 2 people. So think about it like that too. I'm going to leave these additional, I'm going to start poking through the Q&A tab and some of the questions in the comment section. So I'm going to get into the chat real quick, but to wrap up things in general before we kind of go into a chat, more discussion feel for this. These are some additional resources I think will be extremely helpful for you right now. First, if you have not signed up to receive the email of this presentation for the replay, because it's not going to be a public replay, so it's to get the replay, you go to arttotheextreme.com, pick my brain, or you can use that QR code and scan it with your phone if you have your phone up to your computer. That's going to allow you to sign up for the email I'm going to send out after this. It usually comes out about a day and a half, 2 days after, and it's going to be jam-packed and things I use, some extra tips and tricks. It's kind of to be used as a resource hub for you that you can continue to go back to and reference over and over and over for some things that you might miss out. I'm going to also link my private how to get press for your business 101 type of presentation, branding 101. If you haven't seen that one yet and you want to dive a little bit deeper into basic branding of your shop, if some of this went over your head today, those presentations will help you a little bit too. So the email that I'm going to send out in the next 48 hours or so is going to have lots of juicy stuff, different things for you to go back and refer to as you're changing up your shop. It doesn't come through an Etsy email. I don't have the ability to email it out that way to people. So you do need to sign up for my email list. I promise I don't spam you when I send things out. It's super timely or important, or it's giving you my next Etsy is going to be, but that's not for my product page. If you fill out the pop-up box that comes up and it says like join and get a discount, you're going to be getting my emails for my products. You want to go to the link that's pinned to the top of the chat box or on this page right here, that Pick My Brain. You can also schedule a one-on-one session for me. I do have it set up as like a buy me a cup of coffee type of thing virtually and buy me a few minutes of daycare type of thing. So I think I have 20-minute slots. I have 30 or 45-minute slots or something that are different price ranges because not everybody can afford X, but that way it's covering my time, my child care. It's like my buy me a cup of coffee type of thing. So if you want kind of personalized one-on-one, if you have specific questions that you want me to dive into, I remember so many different parts of times in my career where I was like, ooh, I just need a contact information for somebody at Oprah, or I just need to get this one question answered. I just want like 5 minutes of your time. That is what that link's for. I sometimes I love coaches, but I sometimes roll my eyes at coaches like, I'm not a coach. I am a person. I love being a resource book for people, but I also know that my time is spread very basis. And so I want to make sure that my time is being used wisely, your time is being used wisely, and I want to make sure I can get you the information that you need. So you can use that Pick My Brain form to sign up for emails, and then you can actually sign up for a Pick My Brain session using that too. Down at the bottom left, there is the Simple and Smart SEO show. I have been using Crystal Waddell. She is amazing. She is my Pinterest person. So last year, I've never spent money advertising ever. I've always done my own pitching. The only advertising money I've ever spent was through Etsy ads, the paid ads and the Etsy ads that that everyone participates in if you make over a certain threshold with Etsy. This is the only advertising I've ever done. I've never paid for Facebook ads. I've never done Instagram ads. But last year I did hire Crystal Waddell. I didn't know her. I heard her from a Clubhouse. If you've ever been on the Clubhouse app, it's kind of like a podcast, but it's live. It's called Clubhouse. I heard her talk about Pinterest and I poked a week or so on some of her stuff. And I am not one of those people to just like on a gut whim go with somebody or a coach or an expert or somebody to do something without having somebody else try it out first, because I want to make sure that my money is being spent wisely. I don't have a ton for marketing. And so it was a really scary leap for me, but Crystal's amazing. I used her for Pinterest. And I love, love, love. I always tell people, do what you like to do and try to outsource if you can what you don't like to do. I like Pinterest. I like looking at things on Pinterest. I don't know what I'm doing to do it appropriately, and it takes time away from me actually making my crayons, working in my shop, pitching the press, the things that I can do pretty easy. It would take me forever to learn Pinterest and figure that out and have Sony make all the graphics. So I hired her last season to do the graphics and do all the stuff on the Pinterest end for like 3 months leading up to the holiday season. So that continued to work with me for that holiday season. And through that experience, it was such a great experience. She knows SEO, it's ridiculous. And I just wanted somebody that would do it for me and then tell me all the stats and things like that. And one of the best decisions I ever made. But anyway, working with her, they have a podcast now. It's about SEO because now I'm using her for my own Shopify and SEO as I'm trying to figure out the land of having my own .com. But their podcast is excellent. I put it on while I'm driving the car. I put it on while I'm working in the studio. I really suggest going to her podcast, or you can learn more about Crystal by going to crystalwaddell.com too. And then I'm also going to email out the Etsy Up Holiday Edition replay. So I'll email out that extra link if you did not receive it from Etsy. There's a lot of different bonuses that Etsy offered during that Etsy Up too. One of them is an Adobe bonus to get a free trial of the Adobe. I'm very excited for this. Those of you that like using Canva, I've heard this is better. I use a different program, but I'm excited to test out the Adobe. There's a bunch of different opportunities that came up with this Etsy Up Holiday Edition afterwards. So if you did not watch it, please go back and watch the different presentations, pop it on while you're working in the studio. So these are some additional resources that I think would be super beneficial to you if you signed up for my emails. I for you, so you don't even need to take a note necessarily if you have that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll leave the other page. And now I'm going to get to some questions. So if you do need to pop off here, that's great. I'm going to get to some questions, the questions and discussion after this. I have about 15 minutes or so I can chat with you all with the question tab too. And this will be a part of the replay too. So if you have to pop off now, you've stuck with me long enough. I really appreciate it. I hope you found the information super inspiring, super helpful. And remember, this was a lot of information. Just pick one or two things to start with and go from there. Don't let it overwhelm you because it can be very overwhelming. Even me as an experienced business owner, I've been doing this for over 15 years. I get extremely overwhelmed. I need to have tunnel vision to pick one or two things to start with and then worry about the rest later. So I would love to know in the comments if you found today helpful. What was the most memorable thing that you learned today? Like knowing help a ton. So if you have a minute to pop that in the chat too, let me know what was the most helpful thing that I shared with you today or the best actionable step for you. Do you have a vision or kind of a little bit of guidance now of where you want to go with this? What was useful from today's presentation that will help you be the best Etsy shop Christmas owner ever this year? I would love to know that in the comments. That feedback is super helpful. And yeah, I'm going to start poking through the chat. And if you want to hang out with me for a few more, I'm going to scroll back and try to go through a few things. I apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce a name. I've been using Etsy ads for less than a year, and I only feature the listings that buyers have been really interested in or the listings this season. I'm advertising for holiday autumn listings right now, for example. That's a great point. And I need to do more of that kind of fine tuning because I think I have like 15 to 20. And it's very interesting. People always about how much people spend. And so for me, and I'm an open book, especially in the pick my brain sessions if you have with me, I will talk about anything there with you, finances, anything. I am an open book and I don't keep anything in. So I spend right now, I've been spending about $30 a day in advertising through Etsy. The lowest I do is maybe 15, and that's like in an off month. The highest I do is maybe 45 to 50 during the holiday. But I really back down actually during the holiday because we book up spots weeks before Black Friday. I mean, I'm 2, 3, 4 weeks out. I don't even have to have a Black Friday sale. so I will backtrack my advertising budget a little bit lower. I also do a ton of work ahead of time to get press. So like there's a couple really big magazines I know I'm in, like print wise this year. I do a lot of stuff ahead of time, so hopefully I don't have as much money advertising on the Etsy platform come holiday, and kind of use that as a control factor of how many sales are actually coming in. But I do say upping your advertising budget during the holidays, especially like mid October, to start really getting that algorithm going, is the best bet if you plan on upping that holiday budget a little bit too. And I'm going to click the link at the top. Okay. So yeah, if you want to watch the replay in about 48 hours or so, hopefully less, but I'm a mom. I have a lot of stuff on my plate. I'm going to email this in about 48 hours or so. And that link that goes to Pick My Brain, it will take you to kind of my Etsy hub page. And you can always find it by going to my arttotheextreme.com, and under about, it will say like the Etsy expert. I don't say I'm an expert necessarily, but that's an SEO thing there. People like to Google and search Etsy expert. So that helps with that. But I tell people I'm not a coach. I just like having discussions with people. I like helping, because I really feel like if I can do it, you can do it. And I have that unique perspective of being with Etsy since they've started. I mean, I've been on Etsy over 15 years, and it's very interesting to grow with my business as Etsy has grown as well. I was on the platform when there were like 1,000 people. We traded gifts and things like that. Like it's been a wild ride. But yes, use that link to sign up for the email. You can always opt out of the email if it becomes too much. I'm really bad about emailing people after the fact, so you won't get like an email a day from me. Maybe you might get like one a month or something with Etsy. I really try to make it Etsy U related. And then after the presentation, it's like the replays, helpful links, things that I've seen find helpful to move the needle for me in my own business that other Etsy sellers might not be thinking outside of the box about. So that's what those emails are. If you sign up with the pop-up that comes up, you'll be getting product emails. So don't do that unless you want to see my product emails too. So, but you can also sign up for a time slot for a Pick My Brain if you just want 15 minutes or a half hour, 45 minutes or something with me, just to ask a bunch of questions that I might have not gotten to here. I like being that person, and I have 2 or 3 key people in the history of my business. I'm like, I was fortunate I could just, I'm like, I just want to be able to have them on speed dial and ask them, hey, can I ask you this real quick question? Can you find this answer for me? That's what I kind of want to be like for you. And that's kind of what the Pick My Brain questions are for. So you can ask me about business. You can ask me contacts for media relations and magazines, and you can have me look at your Etsy shop, any of that stuff. And why am I qualified to do that? I'm an Etsy U instructor. I'm a former Etsy design finalist. I placed top 10 in the top 10 in the best 2020. I was a panelist last week during the Etsy Up presentation with Dana Isom Johnson. I have 15 years experience on the Etsy platform. So I really have seen a lot of Etsy, and I can speak to a lot of what is going on both in your business wise and media, what you're going to be seeing from the media as far as gift guides and publicity and things like that go too. So let's see. Q&A. Let's see what kind of Q&A questions I missed. I might not cover all these, but I don't offer returns due to original custom products. Is that negative for customers? I don't offer custom stuff either. I don't think it's a negative. It's that ahead of time. And I would like to think that a sane, normal person knows if they order like a custom crayon set. I had somebody the other day, I think once in 15 years, this was my first time that someone said, hey, I have 2 kids that didn't show up to this birthday party. Can I return the customized sets? And she's like, and she said, sounding normal and saying like, I understand that this possibly cannot be returned. And I'm like, no, I'm so sorry, especially due to COVID precautions and stuff. We can't take anything back. They're all customized, but they do work as crayons. So I hope you can use them in future art projects type of thing. So I don't take returns. You can't, a lot of people like to compare things to like, oh, you're competing with Amazon. You're not competing with Amazon. If somebody wants product faster and be able to return, they're going to shop on Amazon. People specifically 9 times out of 10 are coming to Etsy for something customized, something that they're going to love. And me being quite frank, you're either going to find the Etsy shops that are really awesome, really well branded, doing well, top seller, or You're going to find those Etsy sellers that are new, just starting. And sometimes there are those shops that are like China or reproductions. There are different things that are going to be along the level of buyer trust. So somebody that's coming over to the Etsy platform most of the time is somebody that's going to be looking at, okay, is there an about section? When was the last time they updated their shop? Am I really going to get this product that's shipping? I think people either are really gung ho, like, yes, I'm supporting Etsy. I love it. I'm shopping here all the time. I get it. I understand it. I know how returns work. I know how to message people. Or you're getting people who've never been on Etsy before, and maybe they've only heard a rumor that like purses from China that have been mass produced and it's not a real person behind the brand or on it. You want to make sure that you're putting all these things in place with your branding to prevent that confusion. I got off the topic, but you don't have to offer. Don't. Could it help? Sure, but it creates more of a headache from you. And in the end, if people want to be able to return things, they're looking at Target, Amazon, Walmart. They're not necessarily specifically coming to Etsy. They're reading about the brand, reading their shipping, looking at the reviews and things like that. What do you recommend I include on a shop banner? Okay, so we did cover that live. But I would have a really good first photo. You don't necessarily have to have your logo on your banner since your logo is in the actual. I'm losing my voice. That's what happens when I talk a lot. You could have if you have like a thing or something, just try to avoid a ton of text. Let the product do the talking, if anything. I agree with this question. So it says, I understand that having a great shop front is important, but I want to ask whether most shoppers search for items using the Etsy search bar, choose their item and make the purchase versus landing on your shop homepage. I don't know specific stats on this, and this would be interesting. I'll write this down. This will be interesting for me to ask my Etsy contacts behind the scenes. I would assume most people are going to the Etsy homepage. They're typing in something and you're hoping that your item shows up. Good SEO, having good tags, having good listing photos, making 10 photos and a video. Those are all things that are going to help you move up in that platform. There is a very detailed stats report. Say how we're like 10 people clicked on Etsy app, 10 people clicked on Etsy home. Stats of you can see the exact search terms by the thousands of what people searched, what of your items came up, what page rank it is. My things again. What page rank it comes up and what your position is for that. Always forget that's there, but that is such useful information if you take the time to kind of read it and understand it. It takes me a look at it too, but you can see where your traffic is coming from, what things are actually being clicked on, and how do you optimize poor performers? How do you optimize poor performers to gain traction and still stay true to your brand? So if a listing's not doing well, I first switch out the photo I'm using. Maybe that's one of the ones I update for the holiday. I always update my tags for the season. I update my titles. I'm stalling over my words. I use commas now. You don't want like one big random run-on sentence. Make sure you're using commas in your listing titles. Just change it up. Try to A/B test some things. See what listings. If it's not doing well in the first place, then you really have nothing to lose. Changing up your images and things like that. You can scroll to my shop. You can go all the way to the like last page and you can see what items I've put on the back burner for a while and I'm not paying attention to. Adobe Express is doing a free 4-month trial. Okay, that's awesome. This is going to be on YouTube. It's going to be a private video on my YouTube page. My YouTube page is Art to the Extreme with the number 2. I will email that link out. The link is in the chat box for you to sign up for the email. You have to opt in for the email to get all of the resources and information that I'm going to email out in about the next 48 hours or so. All right. Okay, I read somewhere that a white background on pics helps with SEO, either Etsy or Google. Is this true? Okay, I like this question. I'm not exactly 100% sure with SEO, but if you want to be featured by Etsy, if you want to be featured by a magazine or a gift guide, it is so much easier for like an editor or somebody in a magazine or someone doing a BuzzFeed article to pick up an image that has a white background and be able to crop that instantly and plug it into a magazine gift guide, plug it into an actual print magazine with a white background. That's why I always make sure I have high quality photos and backgrounds that are white or at least a solid color. So if someone were to grab an image from my Etsy shop to use sv.com, that they can choose to edit out that background really easily with a click of a button. And that white background provides that opportunity for that. So keep that in mind too. I also, if you're trying to get press, which is a whole nother presentation that I can share with you, but um, you want to try to have another Google Drive, like a Google Drive. It's a free kind of folder that has high quality images that are press ready that you can just send a Google Drive link and they can grab what images they want off of that drive too. Let's see. I'm going down the Q&A a little bit of some stuff. I'll get back to the discussion in a second too. What's the best way to advertise product? What's the best way to advertise product drops or restocks? Can the main Etsy page be? I would definitely put that in your shop announcement. You could put it in your away message. The way that I very rarely do product drops. I'm getting ready to do one for let me show you. You guys can be the first. So I'm getting ready to do my lighting in here's bad, but a product drop for like the only Halloween product I'm offering. They're black pumpkins with like neon colors, and I'm getting ready to do this, but I have a limited edition of them. I want to also at the same time entice people to sign up for my email list for my business. So I'm going to say, hey, if you want to be among the first people to get this, go sign up at this link, insert my MailChimp or Klaviyo or whatever email provider link that you have, collect their email. They're going to be the first people that get to shop that item first. And that's a great way to kind of collect their emails too. That FOMO, that fear of missing out, And for me on my .com, I'm offering these for $10 on my .com. And it's only the people on my email list that are going to get that notification. So that's kind of how I advertise like a product drop or restock. You could have a banner that talks about it too. Just don't use tons and tons of text with that, but you could totally use your shop announcement for advertising product drops or restocks. But also, like I said before, during the presentation, branding. So make sure you're talking about it on your Instagram. Make sure you're talking about it on TikTok, whatever platforms you use. Make sure that you're announcing it consistently across all those channels. And then hopefully you can see where the traffic came from into your page when that drop's going on too. I can't afford a pro photographer to start. Is it better to use clip art images or take my own stage photos? Hey, a lot of people, it says doing my best. A lot of people are doing their best and you're great. There are so many apps that were not around 2, 3, 4 years ago, or even when I started, that automatically edit out a background. They have different backgrounds. Some of them are kind of cringy, but some of them are like wooden type, not super distracting, but like more of a wood textury feel that you can, with a click of a button, take out the background of a photo and just put your product on a different color. You can be the best judge of the fine line of like, does this look too edited or does this look natural? But being able to take a good photo on a white background or having good editing skills is great. I use the app Bizart. I'll also email that out to Bizart. I don't even use Canva. I've never used it a couple times. I use Bizart, and it is the easiest app. It's the only app I pay for, actually. I think it's like $4 or $5 a month or something, but I use it every day. And there's probably people that feel the same way about Canva too. But iPhone photos are completely fine. Most people, I am losing my voice. I'm so sorry. Most people can't afford a photographer. I could not afford it. I mean, even today, I'm like, I don't know if I could afford this, but I know that for me, my products and things, the payoff is when I have good photography to be featured on like Oprah's Favorite Things and BuzzFeed. I'm using my photography for a very specific purpose to be featured in print magazine, on online things, Etsy. My photos are taken with Etsy marketing and advertising in mind. My photographer will send me images with a note, does this look Etsy enough? Because I'm specifically angling to try to be featured by Etsy on their homepage or in a gift guide. Um, I teach for Etsy U. I've been around with Etsy for such a long time, but I'm still working my butt off to make sure I'm doing the right things in my own shop to continue to be featured by them, to change up my color backgrounds and not have the same image over and over and over. And if you need a good photographer, I will plug and I will email it. Kiana K Photography out of Arizona. I've only used her. Super reasonable, super affordable. I now plan photo shoots, and she has. You also have to think about with photography, especially if you have child models, that she like actually goes through the process of legally having like releases for them. So if I appear on TV, if I'm on a network show coming up, that when I show a picture of these kids on TV, that they've been legally signed off, like photographer, that I'm not going to get in trouble by these kids' parents. Now my product's made it big, and I'm on national TV for the show, and their parents are upset because their kids on TV. Sure, whoever you're using your photographer, make sure that you are also having people sign off. Or if you're using other people's kids in your photos, if you're taking them, you got to be very careful where those photos actually appear, and how that works too. So that's just another layer to think about too, because you already didn't have enough to think about today, right? What's my definition of press ready photos? So in my drive, I have images that are high quality. So they're high resolution files. Like I would not be able to upload it to Etsy or send it through an email because it's too big. A lot of times when I'm emailing back and forth with members of the press and I'm pitching myself for stories and gift guides, I can only put tiny, small resolution. I only put 2 or 3 tiny resolution, small photos in there to capture their interest. But then I have a high quality image, press ready images can be found on my Google Drive link here. Google Drive is a trusted source. A lot of editors aren't going to click on random links that they don't know because they don't want bugs and spam and viruses and things like that. But a Google Drive is a trusted link that somebody will click on and know that they're going to a drive with files or images. I have images that are very easy to see. Like white background is number one thing that's on there. I have images of kids holding items, but like it's not so distracting. Like you're not seeing the kid's smiling face all the time because that can be distracting too. I really think about the publication and what image would actually fit in, and I have that in a folder, and I have more images than probably what's needed in there, but that way they can pick what's going to fit their branding for their publication. But just make sure that you at least have white background images with a white background, some sort of lifestyle image, and that they are high quality. Because if you are shooting things and you're saving it as a low res photo, they can't just pull it and put it in a magazine and make it bigger or smaller. It's a lot harder to do that and do it well. They want it, make it as easy as possible for the press to be able to grab that and do that. Okay, so I think let's go back to the chat real quick. I have like 2 or 3 more minutes. I know there's a ton of stuff I didn't get to, and you guys have had some great conversations here. And like I said, you can try to DM me through. I always tell people try not to message me through Etsy because you have the same thing too. If in your shop, it's my responsibility to have that auto reply respond to you. But if you go to my Instagram, it is me that checks it, but I have the deepest tunnel of requested DMs folder because I do a lot of Etsy shops. I do a lot of press. I'm on TV a lot. So I get a ton of DMs that go into my DM requests that I don't see. So if you try to message me through there, you might go into my big black hole of DM requests that I get to like once a month, maybe. Apologies here. And that's why I try to have that arttotheextreme.com/pages/pickmybrain. So you have a way to communicate with me that's kind of in one stream. And if you just really want like a little bit of my time to ask me some really direct questions and pick my brain, you can sign up for a session of that too. Like I said, I don't like calling myself a coach or anything. There are like, and no offense to those that coach or do any of that. But that is, I just like chatting with people. I like having conversations, have this whole program and people subscribe to it and stuff. I just like having, but I also like being at the ready for someone that knows that they just have a couple questions real quick to talk to me about. And then if they need more of my time, they can sign up again later too. So that section is good for that. So follow me on Facebook. Yay. I don't update Facebook that often, but it's there. It's needed. But yes, I'm there. You can find me on the platforms. It's me. I don't have anybody else. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody else working for me as far as answering messages and things like that. So when somebody answers, it is me. I didn't know you could use a Google Drive like that with a notification of phone. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Google Drive is really great, especially for those big files that you don't want to like have hanging around on your phone or your computer. Just trying to scroll up. I gotta get off here. My kids are getting off the bus soon. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for the feedback too. This is the first time using the new platform and I'm really liking this. So I hope I'm gonna sign off here, but that you found something from today's session really helpful. I hope that you feel inspired. You might feel a little bit overwhelmed with everything I just like brain dumped on you, but I really, really, really hope something was helpful for you. Even if you can just forget everything else and just focus on that one thing that's going to move the needle for you, then sign up for my email so I can email this information. You can circle back to it when you're ready to kind of ingest some more of the information. If you haven't done so already, please, 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 I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so you see my face. See my tie. It's a crayon. I noticed, so this fabulous shop owner, XOL, she made this glorious bow. I saw it. I was like, it's branding. I have to have it. But I don't have a single shirt that has a collar on it. So I don't know if I'm not a fashionable person whatsoever, but I just tied it around my neck so I could wear it because it's a crayon and it's very appropriate for what I'm doing here today. It's very Etsy-ish too, I feel like. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't gone to the chat and clicked on that Pick My Brain, sign up so you can get the email. Not be emailed. Additional information will not be emailed through Etsy. I don't even know if I have that capability anymore with the new platform. But any updates, any extra links that I mentioned, any in-depth stuff, it's just going to be a whole email of links and info and replays and things like that. In 48 hours or so, I'll send that out. So if you don't see it right away, don't panic. It's coming. Just got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I will make sure that you get the information that you need. I hope to see you one-on-one, hopefully at a Pick My Brain session. And I really, really appreciate you being here today. I'm sorry this went so long, but hey, the more the merrier, the longer, the better information. So thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope you rock this holiday season on Etsy. Thanks, everyone.